Hi, this is Sophia Cartman, host of the Dream Big podcast show. Please to learn, laugh, and grow.
And this is Olga Karpman. Welcome to the Dream Big podcast.
One of the best ways to persuade others is by listening to them. This was once said by Dean Rusk. Big dreamers, have your parents ever told you to do something you didn't want to do, but they said it's really important, so you must do it? Today I would like to share with you a story of my older sister Eva, who you know from this podcast. Of course, with her permission, make sure to stick to the very end, big dreamers, to see how she freed herself and persuade my parents to do what she wanted to do. And now everyone is happy about it.
You know what time it is, big dreamers. This is episode 329 of the Dream Big podcast, and it's time
to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
As you already know, probably by listening to the earlier episode, my sister Eva, who's 13 now, is a very strong-willed person. She is very smart and very disciplined and a great role model for me and a lot of you big dreamers. She's in 8th grade and she is a very good student. She studies hard, but of course, she's like all of us. She's not perfect. When Eva was in 4th grade, and doing really well at school, my mom noticed that she doesn't know her multiplication table by heart that they learned a year prior to it. That alarmed my mom a bit because she knew math is like a puzzle or like building blocks. If you miss something in the earlier grades, it's hard to understand and learn stuff when you go to middle school. So they talked to Eva and agreed together that they would do some tutoring to help her improve her grades. They found what she was missing in her math and decided to get help from an after-school program that offered her daily extra math worksheets. Eva didn't particularly love it, but she gave it a try anyway. And after doing it for a couple of years, her math grade improved, and everyone was happy. However, her math got more complicated when she went to middle school. She started telling her parents that she wouldn't do extra math anymore. They had countless conversations over it. And all Eva said was, she's stopping the math. And my parents were against it. I can remember that complaining became stronger and stronger every month. Our parents most of the time pay attention to our desires and needs and listen to our extra feedback. But the problem this time was that Eva just wanted to quit extra math. And my parents didn't think it was a good idea because in a long run, it would help her.
You see, big dreamers, sometimes when you look at the world with only your point of view, you see everything based on your personal experience. And maybe your life experience right now in this world is only 5, 10, maybe 15 years. And of course, a lot of time, your soul is much wiser than your age. And I have to tell you something, it's way wiser probably than some of the adults around you. But it's not necessarily you have the experience of life like your parents have. Sometimes you think that doing extra math or maybe sports or any other things is pointless, and maybe parents are asking too much of you or you're too busy with school. But the reality is that in the big scheme of life, you're studying very fundamental things that will help you build on it. And for example, the math that you learn in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade is necessary for understanding math in 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 9th grade, and so on. And maybe, yes, you'll never use the formulas that you study right now, or maybe you'll use technology, calculators, and everything else. But you know what? as we teach Sophia and Eva, you do need math to understand everything else. Just think about it. You want to probably succeed in life. You probably want to make a lot of money. You want to buy a lot of things. You want to help a lot of people, animals, nature, or do things that you love. Well, for that, you do need to know basic math. Math gives you a building block to understand finances, to count your money, and money can provide you with more opportunities in life, more adventures, more opportunities to help others or to help this planet. And math is not only one example. It is example in our family because we saw Eva struggling with it. We can talk like that about any sport or maybe art classes or any other discipline. Doing something with discipline helps you later in life and trains your brain to be a great entrepreneur. Just please know and understand that when your parents are trying to discipline you in some sort, they're trying to help you to be prepared for life. And if you feel they don't understand you or they don't listen to your needs and wants and your desires, please talk to them. Please sit down and express your feelings. I'm pretty sure they would love to hear from you. I assure you, they definitely see a big picture. And maybe it's different from what you see. But I know that together you can come up with a great solution that's good for both of you. In this process, big dreamers, you can learn how to speak up for yourself and how to persuade your parents or your loved ones or your friends and make yourself heard and understood.
Back to the story with my sister Eva, who was annoyed with this extra curriculum. She kept on complaining, but nothing worked. They told her it was one of the things that she needs to keep continuing doing. However, they wanted her to start liking it instead of struggling. So together, they came up with a different solution. First, they sat down and then they started talking to Eva, what's really bothering her, and why she doesn't want to continue. After this conversation, they all came up with an agreement of keeping extra math but finding a different solution for tutoring. It seemed like a really good plan with no flaws. My parents took her to a different tutoring center, but she did not like it. Oh no! My parents were kind of relieved that they tried to offer an alternative, but she decided not to take it, and it was her choice. Then a few months passed, and my mom noticed again that Eva was not doing well in extracurriculum. And then the conversation started all over again. At the same time, at school, her math was getting very hard. Instead of doing well and getting improved, she got lower grades on her tests, and she was very upset about it. And she wanted to do better. You see, Eva has a very strong personality, and she doesn't give up. So she raised this question again. To my parents' credit, they were not upset at all during the process, and they really wanted to help. The problem was they were just very confused on how to help because Eva kept shutting down their offers. You see, big dreamers, it takes two to tango. You need to learn how to communicate your concerns to your parents, and most importantly, show interest to try different methods.
And parents, we, of course, need to be all ears to listen to what our children have to say to us. And we have to trust our children that he or she expresses some concerns about the study process or people or situation around them, and we need to take action. And honestly, we tried. In this situation with Eva, it was ongoing. We tried. We offered different methods besides one. So I kept looking for how else I can help her because she's obviously not getting what she wants. She's willing to study extra, but unfortunately, I was out of options. This is when I went on Facebook and asked my fellow moms in the group, on Facebook group, if they can recommend something. And to my surprise, of course, they did. They recommended me the best tutor, one-on-one. I have to tell you, we were doing the tutoring centers because it was more cost effective. It was a group setting. It was less than one-on-one tutor. And I knew one-on-one tutors would be a little more pricey. However, if other methods didn't work, I gave it a go. And I decided to try this one tutor, asked Eva if she wanted to do it. And she said yes. And she came out of the first class as a completely different person. I was shocked. She came out of the class happy, smiling, and she understood. She understood math. And she said, Mom, you're not going to believe it. We, in 1 hour, just went through half of the chapter that we learned at school for entire month. Of course, it's music to any mom's ears, right? The child loves what she's doing. She loves the method. She loves the teacher. All great. And I was willing to work harder to pay for the tutoring. And just like that, the conflict was solved. And I have to give Eva credit on this. She didn't give up. Big dreamers, if you believe in your heart that there is something different that's waiting for you out there, that you actually can include your parents' interests, try going for it. Start talking to your parents and don't give up, even if they say no to things. And I'm glad Eva communicated it with us, because if she gave up, she would be more confused and she would not get better at school. We always tell our kids, just do your best. Do your best to your ability. And to Eva's credit, of course, she knew she could do better, and she was going for it. She was not happy with the result that she got, even though we were accepting her just the way she is. So if you would learn at least one lesson from this episode, it would be, most importantly, that there is always the way to express your feelings in a calm manner, with confidence, and find what's right for you. And also hear your parents, hear their concerns. Don't think if they ask you to do something with discipline day after day, it's something that you don't need. Opposite, as I mentioned before, they see a bigger picture. And I'm pretty sure if you sit down with your parents and you try different things, you will always find an alternative together. As Sophia said, it takes two to tango.
My challenge for you today, Big Dreamers, is if you have a problem with your parents, sit down, try to talk to it, be calm, and find a different solution to what's bothering you. Let us know how it went.
As always, you can send us a message on Instagram, Dream Big Podcast, or just email me, olga@dreambigpodcast.com. We will keep everything confidential, of course, but we just would like to know how it goes. If you enjoyed this episode, Big Dreamers, then please tell your friends and family about the Dream Big Podcast. And again, you can point them to dreambigpodcast.com/329 for this episode's show notes. If everyone listening would tell just one person about the podcast, that would get our show in front of so many new Big Dreamers, which we would be forever grateful for. If you're enjoying this podcast, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes at dreambigpodcast.com/iTunes. We do read your reviews and we give shout outs on the podcast, and it helps us get in front of more Big Dreamers, which is our mission. Please join us on Instagram, Dream Big Podcast. And of course, we are looking forward to read about your challenge.
That's all the announcements for today, Big Dreamers. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the Dream Big Podcast. This is Sophia Cartman
and Olga Karpman,
reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action and turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion the way life was meant to be. See you in the next episode. Bye.